Okay, let's start. Very warm, everyone, and welcome. We're starting. Om Sadashiva-Samarambham Shankaracharya-Madhyamam Asmadacharya-Paryantam Vande Guru-Paramparam Shruti-Smriti-Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad-Pada Shankaram Loka-Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra-Bhashya-Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hello to everyone and welcome. And someone is unmuted. Please mute yourselves. Yes, so welcome back everyone. And yes. So we are on the topic of karma when it has been done properly, correctly, with yoga buddhi, and it has brought about the phal, prayojan of karma yoga, which is chitta shuddhi. And the phal of chitta shuddhi has already been brought in a person's life. It has fructified, it has matured in a person's life. And that phal is that there is Tivra Viveka Shakti, Vairagya, Shamadama Adi, Shataka Sampatti. They find themselves endowed with it. Such people are the ones who gain the steadfastness of inner perception, the steadfastness of the knowledge that has been made accessible, available, has arisen, has matured, has been able to be tapped into. यथार्थ ज्ञान, स्वरूप ज्ञान, जिसकी दृष्टि में अपना स्वरूप ज्ञान बोध हो गया है, They are able to now recognize their essential true nature. Such people, Shruti here is telling us, Bhagavad Gita here, Krishna is telling us, based on the praman of the Vedic Gyan, in particular the Upanishadic Gyan, which is the Shruti Gyan, based on that praman, Krishna is also telling us that this is the fruit, the pakna of an antakaranam from Jiva Buddhi, establishing itself from Jiva Buddhi, which we find ourselves in avidya with, from Jiva Buddhi getting established in Swarupa Jnana, having the Buddhi of me, who I am in essence, which is Brahman, which is Atman, and स्थिर रहना, उस ज्ञान का स्थिर रहना, the steadfastness of that knowledge under all conditions at all times, that's available here afterwards. Once that knowledge has got established, that's called establishment of knowledge, in fact. What is called establishment of self-knowledge? The established stage of self-knowledge. What is an established stage of self-knowledge? When this self-knowledge remains steadily available under all circumstances, under all conditions, and has become free of purusharth, has become free of will, that both is now a reality. Today we may have a lot of practices right from Chitta Shuddhi onwards. Sadhana kal purushartha kal hai. The time of sadhana means purushartha. The stage of sadhana is for whom? Is for the one whose jiva buddhi is established. Today our jiva buddhi is firm. And what is jiva buddhi? As we've been saying in last two classes, this tadatmyam, oneness with the body, gross, subtle, with my thoughts and the body. Identification with it is so firm that my recognition of who I am is based on this identification with the body. And that is firm, that is unshaken. Day after day, even though in sleep it disappears. But when I wake up, it is no less than yesterday, unless until I have put this jiva bhav, which is another term for ahamkar also. Unless until I have put it under sadhana, this jiva bhav only with time, if it is not put under sadhana, only grows, gets stronger and stronger. So what is established in our vision as a jnana drishti, with a jnana drishti, when there is no knowledge of who I am, what is established in us is jiva bhav. It's steadily available. Every day I don't have to question myself when I wake up, who am I? Am I today a human being? Who am I? What is my name? What is my age? What are my likes and dislikes? What are my fears? What are my doubts? What are my uncertainties? I seem to have a conclusion of my own self as an individual. Parichinna Atma, as a limited being. I have a concept of myself, and that concept is limited. That concept is limited to my thoughts and whatever knowledge I have, which is vritti gyan, just based on the knowledge I have acquired from the world, I have those thoughts and based on the body. That is my firm knowledge. From this firm knowledge of who I am today, a steady perception of this from here to that stage where the perception of my Swarupam being distinct from this Sharira Avastha, from this Sharira Trayam. It's literally like oil and water. It has been separated out. The entire Jagat and the entire Sharir and Vritti, for such a one who's established in Atma Vidya, for them this is a sheer mere, it's a mere play. Play as in there is this detachment, asangatvam, from Sharir and from the thoughts. Not that they don't utilize the body, not that they are not functioning in the world, not that they do not have thoughts, they have. And as teachers would say jokingly, once you gain jnanam, initial stages when we all are fresh students, we have all kinds of doubts with reference to jnani. We have more curiosity about a jnani than we have curiosity about what I should do to be a jnani. So at that stage, we question, how does he, like Arjun had asked, how does he sit? How does he walk? What does he eat? Blah. All those questions arise in such a person's mind. So when they say they have no more karmas left, they have nothing to do, then a natural question in very early stages comes is, how do they perceive the world? And we were always told jokingly, laughingly, light-heartedly, we were told, don't think that a jnani will not see a wall as a wall and will walk through the wall. You won't find a jnani walking through the wall because he now says the wall is maya, the wall is anatma, the wall is mithya. It doesn't work. It's not like that. That's not self-established jnanam. That's delusion. He sees the wall as a wall as well as he sees who he is, and he is untouched by everything that's happening around. It does not bring back the perception of limitation again. That steadiness of Atma Vidya, unless and until one has that for a length of time established in it, you are not called Mukta from Vedantic Drishti. In Vedantic Drishti, who's Mukta Purusha? It's gender free, it's age free, it's religion free, it is all free. It's actually all free. It's all absolute freedom. Freedom in all sense. Who is that Mukta Purusha? That Mukta Purusha is one whose Atma Vidya has a steadiness availability. That steadiness is our sadhana. What is our sadhana? As we are constantly seeing and reinforcing again and again, thinning away first the jiva bhav, shaking it up, loosening it up, letting it be run over. A lot of serious people sometimes allow their ahankar to be run over. We were given an example, and this was actually so. It probably was in 1950s, maybe in Swami Sivananda's ashram. Probably in 50s. I'm not sure of the timeline. I'm just judging it, presuming it, or maybe a little later, but somewhere around 50s, 60s or something. But certainly not much later than that. There was a guru, the head of the ashram. I'm not sure. Please do not make a correction. I do not know. Just take the story or no. The fact as is, the head of that ashram was obviously revered by his disciples, by his students, those who were full-time pursuing, studying under him. But they had a worker, they had a cook in their ashram who would cook meals for them. And that cook was very rude to the head Swami, to the main, whom everybody from everywhere in the country or perhaps the world were coming to visit, take his anugrah, take his ashram, really looked upon him as nothing less than next to God, Jnani Purush. And here is a cook who only would just be matter of fact. To him, it didn't matter who he was. He had no airs or no such reverential bhav, nothing. He was a very matter of fact doing his work, and even would boil down to becoming rude to the head guru there. The students would get very, very agitated. They would get disturbed because they took the insult. Why is this person insulting our teacher? So they took it very personal. that students would get offended. Students would get hurt, rather. That's the right way to put it. Students were getting hurt by the thought. So one day, one of them who thought is a very close devotee and extremely devoted to the Guru, went up to the Guru and said, just allow us, some of us get very, very hurt, just allow us to put him into place. In those days, the tradition we know, even our families we saw, there was a lot of structural hierarchy in order. It's kind of broken a lot, even in a family unit. So everybody has equal rights, kind of a thing. But in just a few decades back, there was a hierarchy that was respected in society as Maryada. The elders and then the less elders. So the less elders would respect the elders, or they can put their words, but they would not offend the elders under any condition. So the students felt it is up to them now. The teacher is saying nothing to him, and it's up to the students to take corrective course. So, but being uh, authoritative in that sense, being structured more in parampara, the students never took anything on their own. They didn't take a decision on their own. So they wanted Guru's permission. So they said, will you give us permission? We must take it up. You please don't do anything, but give us the permission to take care of this fellow. Why don't we change the cook? Why don't we blah, 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 blah. Lot of options were brought. The teacher did nothing, said nothing. The student went back again after a few days, repeating itself, because swabhav badalta nahi na jaldi se. So nobody's nature changes quickly. So the cook continued his rude behavior to the teacher, and in particular more to the teacher than to the student. To the students, he was somehow accommodative, but he was very angry at the teacher most of the times. So finally, one day, one of them said, enough is enough. So they went to the teacher and said, now it's enough, please. If you don't do, I'm going to take, because my anger is now going out of my control. So I have to do something about this. He's insulting you left, right. We can't stand this. It becomes our duty not to allow this to happen. So let us do our duty. And you know what the teacher said? He says, he's the only person who keeps me on earth, who keeps me grounded. If I go by what all you say, then it is lopsided. It is exaggerated. Not that you've understood who a jnani is. You're not better off in ignorance or lack of ignorance than this cook is. वो अपने स्वभाव से कर रहे हैं, तुम अपने स्वभाव से कर रहे हो. फर्क ज्यादा कुछ भी नहीं दोनों में. फर्क ये है कि तुम मुझको ऊपर बिठा रहे हो, वो मुझको नीचे बिठा रहा है. Between the cook and all of you, is there a difference? Is your gyan more established than the cook's gyan? He says, no. As far as I am seeing, स्वभाविक वो अपना स्वभाव है, तुम्हारा अपना स्वभाव है. And that's it. Now, the entire narration is to say that this person whose steadfastness of Atma Vidya doesn't mean that he doesn't recognize the world as the world. Having gained Atma Vidya, it's not that there are airs about him. He will not walk through the wall, is what we were told, which means, supposing he had taken this stand, because he insults me, therefore he gives the permission to the students to take care of this fellow, what would have happened? What
They
is
would
it?
have they would have replaced him or hurt him actually. Responded the same way he was responding.
Exactly. So, what is establishment of knowledge? As students of Vedanta, there is so much interest we have in what others do and what others are interested, etc., etc. Here he says what you're supposed to do. This sadhana kal, practice, starts from where? You may know all Vedanta have understood, have heard, know it, which is better than not knowing. But अगर हमारे जीव भाव शिथिल नहीं हो रहे, so this example was to say that teacher allows his जीवत्वम to get balanced. कोई ऊपर बिठा रहा है तो कोई नीचे बिठा रहा है. What is happening on an average? On an average, he says, I am neutralized. Because he allows the jiva bhav to be reduced, to be, that was the example why I brought this. Many people, to initially, those who are serious about this, they don't mind. Kabhi kabhi ahankar pe, if it's getting trampled, they don't mind it. Because what is getting trampled at the end of it? Ahankar. Ahankar pakadne ki cheez hai bhi nahi. You're not supposed to hold it anyway. So if it is getting trampled, somebody is becoming a means for it, they allow that. Of course, there are situations and conditions. It's not a general rule for everybody, but there are chances that some people you may find in the world also willingly allowing this, because what is the fruit they see of such a practice? That if I affirm myself, I'm strengthening my ego. If I let it go, what's happened? The strengthening part at least is not affirmed. So what happened? So as a result of which, I'm learning how not to be responding or reacting when the jiva bhav is jumping into something. Is that clear so far?
Usually, if you
So
feel
like,
bad, then if you
Sorry.
feel bad, somebody said something, you feel bad. You don't react. You don't say anything, but you feel bad. Then
Neutralize it with right thinking. You know what has felt bad. What felt bad? Who
you
felt,
got hurt. You
ah,
felt bad that you got hurt.
who
Someone
felt
said
who,
something.
who felt bad?
The mind, the body,
The
the
body
jiva,
doesn't feel, the
the
jiva.
jiva.
the jiva
The
bhav.
ahankar felt bad, no? Ahankar gets hurt. So it's okay. It's a once in a while. Of course, I'm not saying these are just examples to inspire us. That when it's applicable, we can apply. It doesn't mean that if somebody is trampling over you, you allow them to be trampled. That's not called jnanam also. There are chances sometimes you have to take corrective actions. That viveka shakti should be there. This is just a way of explaining that you read a situation, and if you think that there is no need to assert my ego, let it go. It's more to say that.
Can you also say it is a test for yourself?
Yes, it's a self-test. Correct. It's a self-measure. And it's a constant practice for all of us, definitely. It's a lifelong thing in a way. Anyway, coming back to the point. So far, we are okay. So what we are saying here is these verses are talking about that established vision in Atma Vidya. So the verse had said, which we have completed the 21st verse, Nirashihi Yata Chittatma. When your knowledge of who you are is established, then you become Nirashihi. Nirashihi means without asha, without hopes, without expectations from anything. And Yata Chittatma, self-controlled. Tyakta Sarva Parigraha. You've given up all possessions. Shariram Kevalam Karma Kurvan. Karte hue kurvan. Doing karma only for the sake of Sharira Yatra, maintenance of Sharir. When such a person continues to do that karma which is devoid of ahankar, which is devoid of aham karomi bhav and bhoktritva bhav, that karma gets qualified only as a kriya, as in just an action. That kriya is not capable of generating any fruit. Devoid of aham bhav, devoid of bhoktra buddhi, a kriya done, an action done, does not generate a fruit. So this person, Jnani, is generating karmas only for the sake of the sustenance of the body. Therefore, naiva kinchit karoti. He is doing nothing. I'm sorry. Na kurvan apnoti kilpisham. He does not get any papa. Kilpisham. This shariram karma is what we were saying in the last class, has a little nuance. Shankara has given a little explanation of this verse because he's done the basic word meaning, what should fall into the definition of Bhashyam, but Purva Paksha and Siddhant, wherever is necessary, the doubts that can arise in the explanation of the verse as is presented, those doubts are called Purva Paksha. That Purva Paksha brings up a doubt. Why has that doubt come? Because in the verse, let me take this here. You see in the second line, Shariram Kevalam Karma Kurvan. There is in grammar, there is a normal rule. There's a rule that's followed. Adjectives follow the gender, the number of the noun. Linga, Vachan, or Purush gets Visheshan jo hota hai, that's the adjective. Ling means pulling, striling, naputsak neuter gender, feminine gender, masculine gender, etc. Not etc., just these three. And then number, singular, dual, plural. Adjectives always follow the noun. Now here you find, this is that analysis, as I said. We don't need it really speaking, but that extra clarity. Why is the meaning given for the sake of karma, for the sake of maintenance of sharir is the right interpretation? Because grammatically, another interpretation is possible for this also, and it will not be wrong because structurally it will be right. Grammatically, it will be right. And what is that? There are two adjectives here for karma. Kevalam karma and shariram karma. Karma, we know in Vedic terms, we have various classifications. What are our classifications? In this context, two classifications are important. Vachik, Sharirik, Vachik and Manasik. Sharir, Vak and Manasa karma. And another classification is Nitya, Nishiddha, Kamya and Naimittika. Nitya, Naimittika, Kamya, Nishiddha. These are two classifications. What karmas you're supposed to do according to Shastra? Nitya, Naimittika karma. What you're not supposed to do? Kamya, Nishiddha karma. You're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to engage in. Now, when he says Shariram Kevalam Karma, केवल शरीर से कर्म करते हुए सिर्फ शरीर से जो कर्म कर रहा है न आपनोति किल्बिषम does not gain papam. Someone can say that and it won't be wrong. So Shankaracharya has put this as a Purva Paksha. And he says, if you read it like this, there are flaws in that thinking. Your moksha gati, your gati for your own moksha will get distracted, will get detracted rather, because you will have a wrong conclusion in your thinking. अगर आप ये सोचो सिर्फ शरीर से कर्म करता हुआ पाप को नहीं पाता, only doing physical action, when only doing physical action, such a person does not gain papam. Then that means only doing physical action, a person does not gain papam. What does that mean?
You're not getting attached to what you're doing. You're just doing it for the
Identification with the body.
Sorry?
Identification with the body.
Okay. सिर्फ शरीर से कर्म जो कर रहा है उसको पाप नहीं मिलेगा. What does that mean? शरीर से कर्म कर रहा है.
He's not mentally attached to it and doing it.
Okay, that's one meaning. That's not what that's not a Purva Paksha then. What you are saying is already in Siddhant.
जी.
So वो
No, in fact, he's
stands-
attached to the sharir and then doing it. He's
फल के लिए जो कर रहा है, जो एक्शन फल के लिए कर रहा है,
वो सिर्फ शरीर से कर्म कर रहा है, which
means like tamas, without thinking. He's just mechanically doing the action.
yeah, he's mechanically doing the action is correct. So
something like an animal he's doing without
very
any.
good, very good. Close, yes. So good. So without phalicha, okay. That's right. Without phalicha, but without phalicha bhi कहना is again coming to Siddhant point. केवल शरीर से कर्म करता हुआ उसे पाप नहीं मिलेगा. Which means वाचिक और मानसिक कर्म से करेगा तो केवल शरीर से कर्म करेगा तो पाप नहीं मिलेगा. Only when he does physical actions alone, he will not get papam. Which means if he does vachik or
If he's done
karma,
mental work, mental and otherwise, if he's doing that, means that he will incur pap if he does.
That's one of the meanings. शरीर से केवलम शारीरम कर्मा कुर्वन न आपनोति किल्बिषम. So what is the Purva Paksha saying? He's saying, the verse is telling us, you are only supposed to do physical work. Only those works which are done physically, without any other thing involved, they will not get papa. That's his point. We are not proving that point. It's a Purva Paksha. Because grammatically you can read it. And also Purva Mimamsakas, their definition of moksha is similar also. So they are not just saying anything for the sake of saying. So that's a logical explanation.
Sorry.
Let's finish this first so that there's clarity. The topic, it's subtle a little. So he says, here we'll just start the bhashyam and you'll get the options. Remember two things. Karmas can be vihit, nishid. शरीर से केवल विहित कर्म करे और शरीर से केवल निषिद्ध कर्म करे. Either way, he will not get papam. That's another option. So what is the first one we did? Mind and speech. That means you can do nishiddha karma from mind and speech or vidhi karma from mind and speech. Either way, you will get papam. Because what is the verse saying? Only the karma done from the body will not get papam. That means even the vidhi karma done manas karma, the ucharan or the parayanam that you do mentally, the meditation sadhanas that you do mentally, the vak shuddhi ke liye jo vak tapas aap karte ho, whatever you're engaging as spiritual practices in the medium of your speech and your mind, either way, whether you do Vidhi or Nishid, you will get Papam. Get the flow? So one thing is Vidhi Nishid, the other option will be Manas and Vachika. So there will be four things that come up in this flaw. There will be four flaws that get generated if one goes along with the literal correct meaning of the verse and not extract the phalartha, the tatparyam of the verse, because the verse is supposed to give us, in continuity of the previous verses, what is the tatparya. So that is why Shankara brings in this over here, that in case someone mistakes it, misreads it, then there is a flaw in that thinking, and we'll just do that now. So from here we had to do Kincha Shariram Kevalam Karma Ityatra Kim Sharira Nirvartyam Shariram Karma Abhipretam Ahoswit Sharira Sthiti Matra Prayojanam Shariram Karma Iti. It's just a question brought. That by saying Shariram Kevalam Karma, by mentioning that it is only for the sake of the maintenance of the body, that's the abhipretam, sharira nirvartyam, for the maintenance of the body. Ahoswit. Now why? Sharira sthiti matra prayojanam shariram karma iti. Why should we accept your interpretation that it is for the maintenance of the body that this person is allowed to do karma? Who's saying this?
Purva Paksha.
Ah, very good. Very, very good. So who's saying it is? Purva Pakshi. This is Purva Pakshi who's saying it. Why should I accept it is for the sake of maintenance of the body? So then the same sentence is again said, but more like saying, what do you get by Kincha ataha yadi sharira nirvartyam shariram karma yadiva sharira sthiti matra prayojanam. What is the difference in saying keval shariram karma, just for the sake of body, or for the sake of saying sharira sthiti matra karma? A little more explanation to say, why are we breaking our heads over this little, seemingly little difference, whether you say it for the sake of the body maintenance or you say it done by the body. But that for the sake and by, just those words will change the whole meaning. So he says, yada. Now is the answer. Yada. This is the Siddhanti. I'll just put it as S. Okay. Maintain the continuity. Yada. When Sharira Nirvartyam Karma Shariram Abhipretam Syat. If you take the first interpretation, for the Sharir ke dwara कर्म किया जा रहा, उसको तुम शारीरिक कर्म कहो. Only karmas done by the body is called sharirik karma. And that is the meaning of the verse. If you take that, then what is the flaw? Tada. Then drishta adrishta prayojanam karma, drishta karma, drishta prayojan karma, adrishta prayojan karma. What gives drishta phal and adrishta phal? Drishta phal as sukha dukkha here in this world, and adrishta phal as swargam narakam paraloka, another world. Whether you take it as drishta or adrishta, pratishiddham api. And those karmas are even pratishiddham. Sharirena kurvan. The meaning will be even pratishiddha karma done by the body na apnoti kilbisham. प्रतिशुद्ध कर्म अगर करोगे सिर्फ शरीर से तो भी you will not get papam. That will become the meaning, one meaning. By the body, if you are doing sharira karma just for the sake of by the body, and you are doing karmas which are pratishuddha by the Vedas, then what did the verse say? The verse said, Shariram kevalam karma kurvan na apnoti. So what is the first option? That the karmas that one does at the level of the body, what about the nishiddha karma then? Vidhi karam paap nahi dega. Understood. But pratishiddha karam jo shastra mein kaha hai कि प्रतिशत कर्म करने से पाप होता है, that if you do pratishiddha karma you will gain papam. What about that statement? He says it will become contradictory to what the basic of Vedic knowledge is. You're not to do adharmic karma. You're not to do those karmas that will bring anishtam now or later. Drishta, adrishta, prayojan karma means swarg. If you do agnihotra adi, sandhya vandanam adi, these are these are vihita karmas, nitya karma. What is the prayojan of it?
करीना मेरे तो छोटे कपड़े हैं ब्रा है उनको मत कर देना आज से मैं कर लिया ठीक है लेकिन आगे से मत कर क्योंकि सारे खराब कर देंगे और मैंने आंटी को बोला कि करो और अब मैंने सारे नए खरीदे हैं बहुत महंगे हैं तो अब मेरे को बिल्कुल कोई उसमें नहीं चाहिए और तो वैसे ही अब छुट्टी पे जा रही है तो आरती को करने देना
To see how online classes are a discipline in themselves. And actually, I would say are a little more difficult than actually physical classes. You need a lot more focus and concentration. Is it not so? Anybody else feels like that? Anyway, I feel.
I think it's definitely more from the teacher's point of view. Very, very difficult from her point of view. I can absolutely empathize.
No, that's okay. No, even from the student's point of view, to keep the continuity, there's only this naturally it is possible. It's nothing unusual. Things keep happening, but it's that much more discipline. I know because as a student, if I sit in a class, I know the challenges that are there. And in a way, I think there are different challenges in two different modules. This is another module. So it has its own challenges and one has to overcome them. This is Shastra Vidya. And Shastra Vidya, anyway, when it's done online, is already more difficult to convey. And usme bhi, this is Shastra Vidya. The reason why it becomes even more difficult, this is truth related. So it is more difficult, definitely. So it needs a lot more discipline, I think, to be able to sit through without, even though we are not allowed. And one of the reasons why people insist on keeping the video on is this also. It's not for the sake of us. In fact, for us, it's sometimes better that the videos are off, but it is for your sake, because if your video is on, you cannot do this and that and that, and आपके हाथ पैर इधर नहीं चल सकते हैं, आपका कुछ भी मुंह में नहीं जा सकता है, आपका मतलब you'll have to sit like a student sits in the class. How you sit physically in a class is how you will sit here in a virtual so-called. I don't treat it as a virtual class because I think the learning that happens through this bypasses all limitations that physicality brings in. This bypasses and you can stick to the topic entirely, and a student can grasp it thoroughly because there are no appendages along with the topic. So that way it becomes a great advantage. But so that's what suits us. Okay, I will never insist because some of us are also very resistant and conscious. But if all the more reason, of course, this doesn't happen with everyone. So let's just continue. So now, what was I saying? Drishta, adrishta, prayojana karma. Very important point. I'm going to rephrase this once again to bring our thoughts together. Shastriya karma alone, and that also Vedic karma. Only Vedic karma has the clarity of classifying different categories of karmas. What a depth of knowledge in itself it is. On an average, can we classify karma? Action. Is it possible for us to conduct anything about karma? We just know physical actions, and physical actions are meant to give us some fruits and some happiness we seek through it, which karna hai. But we don't know anything more than that. We don't know what karma will give us what fruit. There is so much validity, praman of Vaidika karma, that Vaidika karma itself gives you certain fruits when done in a manner in which it is said. They're capable of generating a phal. If you want that phal, whoever wants a phal should do karma as that. That is Vaidika karma. Take the help of that karma, and again, you want a putra, do putra kameshti yagna. You want to gain swargam, do ashwamedha yagna. A lot of such. These are only standard old examples. I'm sure in the present times, there are many other karmas that are possibly capable of, like vrishti, rains can come through it. A lot of anugraha comes from Vedic karma. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Whether one appreciates this or not, Vedas have given a praman. Praman means that word should be understood. It's a base of verified knowledge. That Vaidika karma generates the phal that it promises. And if you don't want the phal, you do it nishkam, then it's not phal-less. It means that it's not that it won't give you phal. The phal it gives is far greater, but for which you must have the maturity of rising above what? What should you be rising above?
Your desire.
Yeah, phalicha. You should be rising above phalicha. आपके अंदर वो इना ग्रोथ आनी पड़ती है कि मुझे ये फल में इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, मगर इस कर्म को अगर मैं निष्काम करूं तो उसका जो फल है, which is freedom in the long run for me, and I seek that freedom. So I am in that fire of yajna, karam. I'm putting my desire as an ahuti. Those karmas are now going to be spoken very soon from 24th verse, different kinds of such yajnas. So what is this yajna? This yajna of avidya that I already am. To light this fire here, I am putting in the ahuti of my desires. To gain what fire? To enliven the fire of chitta shuddhi. Because through that chitta shuddhi, I see my fruit in chitta shuddhi. And is chitta shuddhi the same fruit as the fruit of putra kameshti or some limited fruit? No. Why? Because limited fruit, it comes and it goes. It's temporary. But what about that chitta shuddhi? You may not get the immediate fruit that you have given up, but through Chitta Shuddhi, you're getting qualified for some far subtler and greater lasting pleasure, happiness, Atma Swabhav, Atma Sukh. You are moving towards Anandam. Yes, if Chitta Shuddhi is a desire during a karma, karma is Nishkam. Yes. And Nishkam ka matlab hi hai, you don't even have to keep the desire as Chitta Shuddhi. You don't have to matlab, place a desire anywhere. I am doing a karma and I am just doing it for its own sake. That becomes Nishkam. But if you also have a desire for Chitta Shuddhi, that's okay. That will also ultimately bring you to there. But you don't need that carrot as well. Just doing karma for its own.
Yeah, can I just like add something here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So मतलब आप बोल रहे हो कि you don't need to have a desire, but actually, like personally, I have felt that in order to motivate myself to sort of indulge
Ah,
in Vedic karma, I need that sort of fruit, and the
ah,
fruit that I think of is then is Chitta Shuddhi.
ah. That way, yeah. If you need a prompt,
Yeah.
yeah, that is initially correct. But you must continue the training, self-training. I don't need a
Hmm.
prompt of that either. From my desire to this prompt is good. I have to hold on to something else. So I'm holding on to the thought of this karma will give me Chitta Shuddhi. Correct. But I
Hmm.
must also free myself from this dependency that this karma will give me Chitta Shuddhi. That's a dependency. That's
Hmm.
not in my hands. That it will come as an effect. That's why prasad.
Hmm.
Chitta Shuddhi is prasad phal. It's
Got
not
it. Got it.
ichha. Yeah.
Hmm.
So there is a slight difference in that. Correct. So, right. Okay. So moving on. This so much so far we are clear?
Hari Om Deepti ji,
Anji, Hari Om.
can you please tell us again what Pratishuddha Karma is?
As such, it's a general term. I do not remember. I think I did give once, but I don't remember now where I have written it down. The general rule in English, there are, okay, let me rephrase what I'm saying. If we are looking for a list of karmas that are said as pratishad, like you have, say, do not steal, do not lie, those kind of, then such a list is not there. I haven't yet come across a clear list that will tell me, okay, this is pratishad, don't do. So what is that list? If you have to understand it, there is a general principle. First principle is falling in the category of understanding what is dharma, adharma, karam. A phal, my karam, any karma done, and if I suspect that phal that will come, I don't like it, then I should not do it to others. Doing that karma will become pratishiddha by Shastra. I'll explain. If I'm going to be, uh, if I don't like someone talking rudely to me, let's take the example, do not lie. I don't like people lying to me. So I should not lie to someone because I know swabhavically, if someone lies to me, it creates a distrust, it creates a displeasure. I don't like it. Nobody likes it. So I can make a generalization. If I don't like it, nobody may be liking it. Therefore, if I have a tendency to do that, Shastra says, pratishuddha, stop yourself. Do not do it. Then what are the pratishuddha karmas? Generally speaking, Atatais was given in the first chapter of the Gita. Do not steal others' wealth. Do not steal another's wife. Do not take another's property. Do not covet others' wealth. These are all general things. So generally speaking, that is one pratishuddha. There are specific pratishuddhas. Like for example, if there is a Vaidika follower, and there are certain days that you're not supposed to eat, supposing it's an Amavasya. Or if you're doing a certain kind of a puja, then don't do certain things. They are pratishuddha. Like now in modern world, a best example I have found, I find it very popular is even non-vegetarians, at least in India, I know, non-vegetarians, at least in North, I know, Tuesday will be a day that they'll say, मंगलवार को क्या नहीं करना चाहिए,
नहीं खाना, not eat non-veg on Tuesday.
बट मंडे को वेडनेसडे को
सारे दिन
विधि,
चल सकते हैं.
इज इट अ विधि कि मंडे वेडनेसडे खा सकते हैं, ट्यूसडे इज निषिद्ध, इज इट लाइक दैट?
भगवान अकोमोडेट नहीं करते हैं ट्यूसडे में.
So there is no vidhi to say you can eat Monday and Wednesday, but you can't eat on Tuesday. ऐसा कहीं लिखा थोड़ी है. So nishiddha karma means if you are doing certain things, why has it become popular? Because Tuesday, if you're doing a particular kind of a puja that day, or at least restrain something, so okay, I will not. That means you know that you're not supposed to hurt and satisfy yourself, hurt another being and satisfy yourself. You know that, but at this point, it is okay. Your lifestyle as such, that's fine. But one time you want to withdraw, you want to keep that going. So it becomes a pratishuddha for you. So there'll be specific instances where it will become pratishuddha. So I've spoken two things yet. One is a general condition of pratishuddha. The second is a specific conditions of pratishuddha. Like you would have, like supposing somebody in a brahmachari avastha. When you are in a brahmacharyam, it is a pratishuddha to entertain certain kind of thoughts. And that's fantastic. Why? Because your mental potential gets dissipated if you go along with the senses. If you do not keep certain kind of thoughts under check, your own mental growth, it's like the body growing. So from childhood to the adolescent age to the young adult age, you're still growing in your mind. You're acquiring new knowledge, you're acquiring new information. So there is a pratishuddha that at a particular stage of your life, do not entertain certain thoughts, as in now. So in those terms, there are a lot of societally understood in the context of lifestyle that Vedas promote for the sake of moksha. Then another third specific, very specific is, what is swadharmic, natural to you? He said it in the third chapter. Paradharma, following it, will become nishiddha for you. Don't enter into the realms of paradharma. Somebody else's dharma, don't do. So these are all kind of figuring it out. I think the process was, as I best understand, either we have lost the literature over a period of time, we have lost this category, or by our own adhikaratvam, maybe our clarity hasn't still come. I haven't still come across a text which gives me that list. Maybe I have not yet qualified to get that list. I do not know. If it is still existent somewhere, I have no information, but I do not have this. I look for it, but I still don't get it in that clear sense that this should be the list, as people keep asking. So my understanding is, विहित तो फिर भी कहा गया है, जो विहित को नहीं कर रहे वो प्रतिष्ठित है. Is that clear? What is said as vihit karam, nitya karam? They are your vihit karam. Not doing your vihit karam becomes your nishiddha karam. So By inference, you draw it. And another benefit of it is, I think because life is dynamic. Vedas understand that life is a dynamic process. Your karma phal keeps maturing, it keeps exhausting. Then it matures, and so situations change. There are people coming and exiting out of your life. New things keep happening, different things keep, etc. That dynamism is accepted, and therefore there's a constant pursuit of figuring out what is nishid in this present context. I need to put that mental exercise to understand what is my dharma and what is not my dharma, what I should be doing, what is pratishad for me, in the time and space capsule in which I am present today. Have I made it understandable? Is it?
Haji, yeah, and I think you alluded to that because there seemed that there could be a little overlap between Nishid and Pratishad. That's why.
Nishid and pratishad are synonymous.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like differently used terms with a different prefix. Pratishiddha
Okay.
and Nishiddha.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the last sentence?
Yeah. Pratishiddha. Prati means regarding what is Nishiddha. Nishiddha means Nisiddha, without not doing it. Nishiddha. Pratishiddha is
Okay.
regarding Nishiddha.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That explains everything. Yes. Thank you.
Sorry,
Thank you.
I went into a little longer explanation than probably was necessary, right?
Okay. No, it's helpful. All the examples are very helpful. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Okay.
Anybody else has
Dhanavad.
a doubt on this? Right, clear. So now, because this whole portion is, see, what are we clarifying here? Clarifying that a jnani is allowed, can do karmas for the sake of maintenance of the body. Keep that on top of your mind. That there is a possibility to understand that only physically done actions will free me from moksha, will free me from papam, that is getting refuted. That such a thinking will be flawed and you will land yourself up in a samsar. Because samsar nivrit nahi hoga, samsar वैसा का वैसा रहेगा, because samsar nivrit hoga ही when you have the right knowledge. So if you are taking a wrong knowledge in, then your samsar will continue. Therefore, that clarity is necessary. So returning back, drishta prayojana karma means I do those karmas that will give me drishta phalam. Phal can be pratishad or nitya. Nitya phal, nitya drishta karma will give me drishta phal. Nitya karma will give me drishta phal and adrishta phal. Drishta phal will be sukh in the world now, and adrishta phal will be punyam gathered, which will mature in another point. Pratishiddha karma prayojanam done. Those karmas that were done, which were pratishiddha, I should not have done. What should I not have done? I should not have okay, I'll give one. Certain pujas and all that, you give danam to the pujari or the pandit or the brahmin. You're supposed to share some danam. If you're giving danam, you're not supposed to give danam holding the ahankar that I am giving, supposing. I'm just taking an example. If you hold ahankar while giving danam, after the karmas got complete, Shastra says you should not. But supposing you don't know what Shastra said. So by natural I am capable of getting this. I have means. I will get work. I will get puja done. And therefore, I get ostentatious. I have the means. I become ostentatious. It's a show off of my wealth. That pratishiddha karma is now doing what? Adrishtapam. All the good work that you did, कर्मा तो आप करोगे, प्रतिशत क्यों होएगा वो? कर्म कर रहे हो to get some good benefit. But by not keeping a check on what you should not have done, you accumulated a adrishta phalam in the form of that which accumulates dukham now and klesh later, papam later. So he says here, even karmas that are done, which are pratishit, physically, I'm killing someone on one hand. They will, what will the sentence become? Even pratishat shariram karma will not give you papam. This much clear first? So it becomes viruddha abhidhanam prasajyeta. Prasajyeta means it arises. What arises? Viruddha, contradiction, to abhidhanam means to what has been said in the Vedas. सिद्धांत से ही विरुद्ध हो जाएगा. Because if you do pratishiddha karma, what is the siddhant? You get papa. But here, what does it say? It says, if you do pratishiddha karma, शरीर से करोगे तो कोई पाप नहीं होगा. तो ये तो सिद्धांत के उल्टा हो गया ना statement. So first flaw will be, it will bring rise to a contradictory statement. And Vedas have no contradiction. So one of the ways you know it is a praman is there will be no contradiction in the entire vision. Everybody clear on the first point? Here also, I presume. Now he says, second point. Shastriyam cha karma drishta adrishta prayojanam sharirena kurvan na apnoti kilvishamiti api bruvataha aprapta pratisheda prasangaha. If you say that by the body, shastriya karma that is done, which is pratishiddha, which is nitya, then they will not give papam. I'm repeating. शास्त्रीय कर्म जो कर रहे हो, जो दृष्ट फल, अदृष्ट फल के प्रयोजन है, नित्य फल, पुण्य, such karmas will not give papam. That statement to say, or rather, I'm doing again. Okay. शास्त्रीय कर्म पुण्य जो कर रहा है उससे पाप नहीं होगा, ये कहना, my statement was right, ये कहने में एक दोष है. What is the flaw? He says वो तो वैसे भी पाप नहीं होता. अच्छा कर्म करने से पाप तो नहीं होता. If you do the right work, right action, you don't get पाप anyway. So जो पाप हुआ ही नहीं है, उसका प्रतिषेध प्रसंग कहां से आ जाएगा? That he will not get papam. What does it need to say that? जो पाप मिला ही नहीं, how will you cancel that पाप? It's like saying, example, somebody A doctor tells the nurse, clean up the stomach of this person. So nurses, why? He says to remove the poison from the body. But did the person have poison in the body? Did the person take poison? जब उसने पॉइजन लिया ही नहीं है, फूड उसका पॉइजन था ही नहीं, उसे पॉइजन लिया ही नहीं है, तो अब आप उसको क्या निषेध करोगे? नहीं समझ में आ रहा? आगे
इट्स लाइक सेइंग पूजा का फल कभी पाप हो ही नहीं सकता, तो आप पाप क्या करोगे? मतलब
correct. So to say that such a person who's doing kevala sharira karma will not get papam, if he's already doing the right action and he will not get papam, हो ही नहीं सकता possible निषेध करना, that statement will become अप्रतिषेध प्रसंगः. कॉन्टेक्स्ट ही नहीं आ सकता, उसको जो प्राप्ति नहीं है उसको नेगेट कैसे करोगे? प्रतिषेध फल ही नहीं मिला तो उसको नेगेट कैसे करोगे? Okay, so these two is what? When a shastriya karma is done only by the body. If you are doing vihita karam, then विहित कर्म करने वाले को फल ही नहीं मिलता पाप का, तो वो कॉन्टेक्स्ट कहां से आएगा कि उसको पाप नहीं मिलेगा कहने का? इन अ मूल मंत्र, इन अ मूल श्लोक. Why will Krishna tell Arjun, Shariram kevalam karma na kilvisham apnoti? And if he is doing pratisheda karma, and you are saying that he will not get any papam, if he is doing pratisheda karma by the body and you say he will not get any papam, then there is a viruddha abhimana abhidhana prasajyet. There's a contradiction to what the Shastra says, because pratisheda karma will get papam. That's the siddhant. So the verse cannot say that shariram kevalam karma kurvan apnoti kilvisham, na apnoti kilvisham. Clear? So what is the breakup in this shariram karma, vihit and nishit? विहित कर्म करेगा तो विरुद्ध अभिधान प्रसज्जित हो जाएगा, क्योंकि विहित कर्म निषिद्ध कर्म करेगा तो विरुद्ध अभिधान प्रसज्जित हो जाएगा, क्योंकि निषेध का तो फल पाप होता ही है. शास्त्र कैनॉट से इन अनदर कॉन्टेक्स्ट इसको पाप नहीं लगेगा. एंड अगर विहित करेगा तो अप्राप्त प्रतिषेध का फ्लॉ हो जाएगा, बिकॉज विहित कर्म का वैसे भी पाप फल नहीं होता, तो द मूल सेंटेंस बिकम्स रिडंडेंट. सो बोथ वेज यू आर मेकिंग कृष्णा's words flawed, and that interpretation will be wrong. That's the two. Now in the next one he says, if you take the adjective shariram kevalam karma, kevalam word, only body, then you have eliminated vang, vak and manasa karma. It's subtle. That's why I said in the last class, should we do it or not? I was debating. I hope everyone's getting it. Okay, good. One up. Anybody else is not clear? Then I must repeat it, because I can't leave you confused like that. If it's this way, then that means it's like, I'm not sure if it's clear or not. Okay, I'll just go along with the fact that something is being understood. We'll bring it up again in the next class. Let's finish this much, a little more. Now he says, Shariram karma kurvan iti visheshanat of this kevala shabda prayoga. Keval sharir se, if you are using keval as the adjective to karma, shariram karma, then vak manasi nirvartyam karma. Vidhi pratisheda vishayam. So the vidhi and pratished of vak and manas karma, which is also called dharma and adharma shabda vachyam, means those karmas done by the vak and through mind, which produce punya and papam, simplifying the sentence. Kurvan, karte hue, prapnoti kilbisham. You will get pap. Because he said only shariram kevalam karma kilbisham na prapnoti, which means manasi karma kilbisham prapnoti. Vak karma kilbisham prapnoti, irrespective of vidya pratished. That's the importance of the adjective. It's very beautiful because this is a big flaw. You'll realize a lot of spiritual aspirants losing their way because of this kind of acceptance that if I'm not done anything by the body, I will not get any papam. That means from the mind and the speech, if I have done, I will get papam. So ज्ञानी क्या करता है? ना बोलता है, ना सोचता है. Is it even possible? चलो बोलना फिर भी ओके फाइन, वो नहीं बोलेगा, लेकिन सोचेगा नहीं. So there's a flaw there. That it's not going to be possible. He removes that flaw. Tatrapi vang manasabhyam vihita anusthana apakshe kilbisham prapti vachanam viruddham apadye. Again, there will be a contradiction that from the mind and the speech, when he is doing vihita karma, how can he get papam? So speech and mind, vihita karmas cannot give you papam. So there will be viruddham. And pratishedha seva pakshe. Again, pratishidha seva means you are doing pratishiddha karma from the mind and the speech. Bhuta artha anuvada matram. Then it is already known that if you do pratishiddha karma, you get papam. It is anuvada. ये तो सबको अब पता है, तो वो तो अनर्थक हो जाएगा statement. What Bhagwan has written, said, it becomes anarthak, means of futile. It will become futile. Means in the very moolam there is a futile sentence. Bypass it, eliminate. Editor should cut that line. You know, how you have editors working, if you're writing a book or something, your editors will mark everywhere. That means if there was somebody who was editing this Bhagavad Gita, moolam, if his thinking is shariram kevalam karma, then manasi and vak, if somebody is doing, then pratishiddha karma, he will also not get any papam. तो वो तो वैसे भी नहीं मिलता. So that statement is useless. So let me reduce sentences from the text. Let me make the text a little more thinner for the sake of others. Let me delete the line. Because it's anarthak, it's futile, no, not needed. Therefore, now Shankara concludes to say, why the interpretation I have given is the right interpretation. Because none of these flaws will arise when you say, for the sake of the maintenance of the body, even a jnani is allowed to do his karma. As long as he is doing it without any sakamata. And later on, there is a verse that he talks of ayachita riptam upapannam yadrichaya. Ayachitam, without asking. Asankliptam, without preferences. We'll explain as we move. And whatever comes without any specific asking, yadrichaya, as without any specific desire, unasked. Ultimately, it means bina yachna, means without asking anybody, without any specific desires or specific sankalpas. Whatever comes your way, Shastra allows you to live with that. That's how they will talk of. This will be in the next verse. But now Shankara says, that is why Sharira Sthiti Matra Prayojanam Shariram Karma Abhipretam Bhavet Tada Drishta Adrishta Prayojanam Karma Vidhi Pratisheda Gamyam Sharira Vang Manasi Nirvartyam Anyat Akurvantaihi Eva Shariradipihi Sharira Sthiti Matra Prayojanam Kevala Shabda Prayogat Aham Karomi iti. Shankara says, that is why I have given the meaning of Shariram Kevalam Karma only for Sharira Sthiti Matra Prayojana. This is why Kevala Shabda is to be used. Keval means what? Keval Sharira Sthiti Matra. And that fits in the context of Triptaha, Asangaha, all the characteristics, it fits. Aham karomi iti abhimana varjitaha. He does karmas without any abhiman. Sharira adi cheshta matram. All the efforts now that he is putting from mind, speech, or the body, any effort that he puts, any cheshta he puts, loka drishtaya kurvani. It is only seen from the standpoint of a loka drishti, from people see him working, identified with the body. And in such a way, when he does karma for loka sangraha, abhimana varjitam is important. And whatever karma he does thereafter, it becomes only cheshta matram. It's only kriya now. It's not karma. Just as a child's really toddler. A toddler is a toddler subject to punya and pap. Why? If yes, why? If no, why? A toddler is not subject to punya and pap, even though he has a little sense of identity. But he doesn't have any planning and scheming consciously. So he
Because
doesn't.
there's chitta shuddhi for him.
You can't say chitta shuddhi as such, because at the moment his desires, child's desires, have not erupted fully.
But they have a lot of innocence, right?
Yeah, that's the point. What is that innocence coming from? The fact that they're just expressing what there is without any filtration of ahankar. Jaisa hai waisa hi, just as animals. So that is cheshta matra. That's why the child and a jnani, their karmas are only cheshta matra. So just as the child will operate only as is required, without the sense of I am the doer, so too a jnani, completing the whole cycle, has become freed of the need for a karma, falsifies the realm of karma, and all his karma is just mere cheshta. That's it. Loka drishtya kurvan na apnoti kilvisham. He will not gain any power. Okay. So
This
in
is
this way,
karma akarm, right? Prithvi?
Hanji. Karam mein akaram and akaram mein karam. Both. They are both Jnani's complete knowledge. Samyakya. Okay. So we'll end here. Divya, can you chant?
ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सत्कमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथ्वी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं शोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Okay, thank you everyone. I don't think you have questions and I'm still sorry. Definitely Zoom's also trying, but nobody's been able to figure out what's happening. We are still, emails are going up and down. Somebody's helping. I'm not directly looking into it now. Someone's trying to figure out what the problem is. If you really have a problem, I can attempt to go on timeline, but if YouTube serves the purpose, then let's keep it simple for now. Okay, so you're all here. That's good enough. Those who can